thought it was Bill. Wait, what's the storyline? With Liam and Bill, hold on.
Sunday.
Hey, Granddad.
Well, this is a wonderful surprise.
Everyone has a different story of how they got their start on Bold.
I was cast at the very start of COVID, the pandemic. So I auditioned through my laptop while I filmed it on my phone. And I sent in the phone tape, assuming I would never hear back because it was such a ridiculous setup. And of course, there's a callback. And then we do that over Zoom. And then there's a chemistry read with Kiara. And it went well. And that was it.
Well, let me set the scene. I was a dark brunette, still relatively new to the scene. And I came in and there was a room full of blondes, and then there was me. And so I was like, well, I'm not getting this.
But a few of our favourite faces were already favourite faces on another soap, The Young and the Restless, which shoots across the hall from Bold at CBS Studios in Los Angeles. Don Diamont was once Y&R's pool boy, Brad Carlton.
Oh my gosh, it was just such an amazing opportunity, especially considering that there was very little time between Y&R and B&B. In fact, my character's passing on Y&R was still a topic of conversation among the characters, and I think my picture was still being shown.
You had been across the hall playing Lance Prentice on the Young and the Restless.
Yeah.
Did that ignite a passion for you for daytime drama?
I had a bias against soap operas. And then when I started doing Young and Restless, I went, oh yeah, this is a little harder than I thought.
I'd made friends with a few of the cast members on Bold. And I remember walking down the hall just to say hello to Brad Bell while he was working one day. One of my last days, I think, on set for Young and the Restless. And we met in person, and I think we just hit it off really well.
Once on board, real-life events need to be factored into the Bold world.
How have you worked your real-life pregnancies into the show?
I think it was when I was pregnant with, I thought it was Bill. Wait, what's the storyline? With Liam and Bill, hold on. And I was fake pregnant, and then right after that, I got pregnant in real life. So it was a lot of hiding me behind, flowers and a lot of laundry baskets and folding clothes. And again, they did a great job.
It's an incredible job, and especially if you want to raise kids, because the time is, you can still do things in the morning with your kids or take them to school or whatever you have to do. Then you go to work, then you leave and you pick them up and you do that. And somewhere in there, you're studying for the next day. And I used to bring the babies into the dressing room, and my son played my son on the show for 4 years.
We are really a soap opera factory, all right? We are producing show after show. We do 250 episodes a year. We shoot 8 episodes a week, 2 episodes a day. So it is nonstop soap opera madness here. So Brad will write an outline with his co-head writer, Michael Minnis, about a month and a half before it actually airs. So then he'll write the outline, then it'll be sent to a dialogue writer, and they'll send in their script, and then it'll be edited, and then the director will have a few days to block it, and the actors will have just, a couple days to learn their lines. We'll shoot the show, and then 3 weeks later, it's on the air.
There have been some amazing storylines over the years, and by that, sometimes I mean incredible. You go, wow, that is an amazing. Is there any time where you've had to say, don't know if we can do that?
Yes.
That one's too far.
I do. I think I've gone too far many times. But for me, it's not going far enough that's a greater sin than going too far. So I think you're forgiven if you go too far, but if it gets boring, that's the worst thing a writer can do.
Some of the actors do double duty.
As well as starring as Carter on The Bold and the Beautiful, you also write some of the episodes.
Yeah, I think an episode of mine is actually when Quinn comes to Carter's loft for the first time, and they kind of sit and have their first little conversation. It was that episode.
Directing daytime is like throwing yourself into the fire. It is the hardest thing and the most pressure-filled thing that you will ever do.
You're running on a huge time crunch. You're responsible for 3 cameras. You know, you have to call your shots in the booth. So, and you have, you know, the pressure of the producer, one of my dearest and closest friends, who I've known him since I was 15, but he sits behind me still and says, "Let's go, let's go, let's go!" And I'm like, "Okay, snap, snap, camera 1, go, camera 2, go." Yeah.
I call it a fire drill. Once we start, we don't stop until we're done. It's very different from any other job I've ever done. It's very fast-paced. We have a lot of dialogue.
What involves more acting, The Bold and the Beautiful or The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills?
Well, I'm acting on The Bold and the Beautiful, The Housewives. I thought it was real, but some is different.
But everyone, at some stage, has to do a love scene.
That Steffy love scene in particular, you know, that was pretty heavy duty.
Do the boys drop and do 10 push-ups right before the scene so everything's looking really cut? The guns are looking good?
Why would you think that we do that? I've never heard of somebody doing that ever.
Sometimes things go wrong.
Liam, you need to stop and think about what you're saying. Staying.
Liam, answer me.
I was only a fraction of that blooper reel because I just swear like a sailor, so they probably couldn't show a majority of my reel because all of a sudden Hope would break character and then start cursing like a sailor.
At other times, the actors need to cry on cue.
If I have an emotional scene, I start yawning. I make myself yawn, and I keep yawning, and I keep yawning. And there's something about that tricks my body into, it simulates vulnerability for me. And so my body starts to get emotional before my brain, and then my brain realizes what's happening and sort of catches on, and then they sort of synergize. And it's just a trick. It's a little trick that I use.
And when COVID hit, it was time to get inventive.
We were the first show back, and that's incredible, but we also had to do it right. Not only the Bold and Beautiful fans were watching our show, I feel like the whole world was watching us because they were thinking, how are they doing it? They're gonna have to follow in our footsteps. And the love scenes, yeah, people did bring their significant others in, and it worked. Like, I'm very impressed, you know, at least with Finn and Steffy. You know, Tanner's wife was a perfect match, so it was wonderful. I was also making out with mannequins, which was fun.
One of the best things working during COVID was my husband in real life. He stepped in to double for Torsten for Ridge. I've had a scene where Shauna was kissing Ridge, and so my real husband got to step in and do that, which was so much fun.
For so many of the cast, one of the nicest things is when their families have been longtime fans.
My mom, she's a big fan of the show for a long time. And I didn't watch as much I'm not the demo, but it was always on in the house, especially if I was sick home from school. It plays in the afternoons.
Do members of your family watch Bold and the Beautiful now? Have you got them addicted to the drama now as well? What about your partner? What about your ex? Does Charlie Sheen ever watch Bold and the Beautiful?
I haven't asked him that yet. My dad watches the show, and his girlfriend actually has watched the show from the very first episode. So that's fun. She came to the set before COVID and got to meet everyone, so it was fun for my dad.
Watch Bold and the Beautiful fast-tracked straight from the US on demand on 10 Play.